Good morning and a very warm welcome. You're watching Janata Television and this is the English Bulletin with me, Sushant Dhakal. The top stories first. UML leader Nepal forms parallel committees, says talks ongoing with leftist forces. Government begins new phase of vaccination drive. Students and businessmen involved in trade with China to get the doses. IMF sees stronger global growth, revises Nepal's growth forecast to 2.9%. International rival groups clash in Sudan, more than 50 dead in ethnic violence. And Liverpool lose 3-1 in the quarterfinals first leg of the Champions League against Real Madrid. Dortmund lose to Manchester City. And now the news in detail. CPN-UML senior leader Madhav Kumar Nepal has said that positive dialogue is taking place with all the leftist factions. At a meeting of the Bagmati Pradesh committee held in the capital on Tuesday, CPN-UML senior leader Madhav Kumar Nepal said that positive talks were being held with all the positive-minded communist parties despite the party's recent tragic activities. He said that positive talks were being held with other communist leaders including Janamorcha Nepal and with Mohan Baidya as well. The meeting also formed provincial and district committees with its respective coordinators appointed and handed over the responsibility. All selected leaders took their oath in presence of Leader Nepal. All selections made yesterday were according to the long-standing party statute. Provincial coordinator Astalakshmi Shakya claimed that the committee formed yesterday is in fact the official UML committee. The leaders from the Nepal faction of the UML have expressed commitment to further strengthen the party's newly formed committee. The government has decided to begin the next phase of vaccination drive starting from today. In this phase, the government will be giving shots of vaccines received from China as grant assistance. The government had brought 800,000 doses of vaccines from China recently. Starting from today, the government will be giving shots to people between the age group of 18 to 59. During this phase, the vaccine will be given from 23 centers in 7 districts including Kathmandu, Lalitpur, Bhaktapur, Kabre, Sindhupalchok, Nuakot and Rasua. The vaccines will be given primarily to professors and students studying in China under scholarship as well as businessmen involved in overseas trade with China. Besides them, people involved in emergency services are also eligible to receive the vaccine. The government yesterday confirmed 188 new cases of coronavirus across the country. Following the latest round of tests, the total cases of coronavirus in the country have climbed to 278,392, while the number of active cases has increased to 1,979 from the overnight tally of 1,832. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, altogether 273,455 infected persons have recovered from the disease in the country so far. The death toll from coronavirus remains constant at 3,036 as no new fatalities were reported yesterday. Nepal is currently among the top 51 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. The USA tops the list with over 31.56 million confirmed cases, followed by Brazil with over 13.1 million cases. Coronavirus has infected more than 133 million people across the world and claimed 2.88 million lives. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. The Federation of Nepalese Journalists is holding its election across the country today. There will be direct election across the country to elect a new leadership of FNJ. The Federation of Professional Journalists of the country has decided to hold direct elections to choose new leaders at the central level, provincial and district levels as well as associate bodies. According to FNJ, a total of 13,000 journalists will cast vote during the election. And now the news from the economic front. The International Monetary Fund said on Tuesday unprecedented public spending to fight the COVID-19 pandemic, primarily by the United States, would push global growth to 6% this year. According to Reuters, this growth is unseen since the 1970s. The IMF raised its 2021 growth forecast from 5.5% less than 3 months ago, reflecting a rapidly brightening outlook for the US economy. IMF chief economist Geeta Gopinath said the improvement was largely due to increased fiscal support, including a new $1.9 trillion US aid package, accelerated vaccinations, and continued adaptation of economic activity to overcome pandemic restrictions. Even with high uncertainty about the path of this pandemic, a way out of this health economic crisis is increasingly visible, Gopinath told a news conference. Forecasts for emerging market economies lagged well behind their developed peers, rising just 0.4% point. Nepal's economy is likely to grow by 2.9% in the current fiscal year, according to the latest projection of IMF. Releasing its World Economic Outlook on Tuesday, the IMF slightly raised the growth forecast for Nepal from its earlier projection of 2.5% in October last year. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back, and now the international news. Clashes between rival groups have claimed more than 50 lives in the city of El Geneina in the volatile West Darfur region of Sudan, according to Sudanese medical groups. The Western Darfur State Doctors Committee reported Tuesday that at least 130 people were injured. Videos posted from El Geneina on Monday and Tuesday showed fires burning in the town. A report from the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs said on Tuesday that shooting continues to be heard across the town. The local power station was destroyed last night and there is no electricity. The government's Humanitarian Aid Commission in West Darfur reported that people are fleeing into neighboring Chad. A UN security report seen by CNN said that early on Monday, an unknown number of armed Arab tribesmen ambushed the shot on a group of Masalit tribesmen entering El Geneina. On Monday, the Sudanese government declared a state of emergency in the area, but clashes have continued. You're watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Liverpool lost to Real Madrid in the first leg of the quarter-finals of the UEFA Champions League by a scoreline of 3-1. The Reds were largely second best throughout an entertaining game against a Real team missing their first-choice centre-back pairing, but packed with impressive attacking talent. Much of the damage was done in the first half through Vinicius Junior's low drive after he had chested down a superb long pass from Toni Kroos and a Marco Asensio's close-range finish following a defensive mistake from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Liverpool came out fighting after the break, putting a goal back through Salah's finish off the crossbar to spark their best 20-minute spell of the contest. But they were stung when Vinicius found the net via a first-time shot following a fine attacking move with 25 minutes to go, leaving them with a mountain to climb in the return leg at an empty Anfield on 14th April. In other matches, Manchester City's hopes of reaching the semi-final looked to be in the balance when Marco Reus gave Dortmund what looked like a priceless away goal with a cool finish from Erling Haaland's pass 6 minutes from time. Kevin De Bruyne, who had given City the lead with a crisp finish after 19 minutes, played his part once more in the final minute of normal time when his fine cross was touched back by Ilkay Gundogan for Foden to stroke a finish past Marvin Hitz. Today, Bayern Munich will host PSG while Chelsea will face off against FC Porto. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. UMN leader Nepal forms parallel committees, says talks ongoing with leftist forces. Government begins new phase of vaccination drive. Students and businessmen involved in trade with China to get the doses. IMF sees stronger global growth, revises Nepal's growth forecast to 2.9%. International rival groups clash in Sudan, more than 50 dead in ethnic violence. And Liverpool lose 3-1 in the quarter-finals first leg of the Champions League against Real Madrid. Dortmund lose to Manchester City. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.